really never gets old to me. I don't know why. All right, what's going on, man? It's your boy Kurt Clough, and I'm back with another video. Man, look, if I'm not starting somewhere, I'm not going nowhere. Look, I've decided to go outside my norm. Now, growing up in California, there are some staple shoes that you are bound to find in someone's closet. You can expect to find a pair of Chucks, you can expect to find a pair of Vans, and you can expect some Jordans of some sort. So whether it be Jordan 1s, Jordan 8s, 7s, 14s, 13s, like 9s, like for the most part, it's the Nike family, Chuck Taylors, and Vans. Although other people do have other things, I think the majority of people who live in California have those three things in their closet. And I know that also differs for different people in different states. Like I know in the DMV, because I got a lot of homies from the DMV, a lot of them rock foam posits. And I know on the East Coast, a lot of people either rock Timbs or Air Forces. So just depending on where you grew up, those staple shoes that you'll find in someone's closet may differ. Now for me, growing up in the Bay Area, there was never really a need for boots. Like although it does get cold in the Bay Area, and although it does rain a lot in the Bay Area, I never really needed boots like I needed other shoes. So like, although I did have boots at certain points in my life, they weren't staples. It was just one or two at max. And it's funny now just thinking about it, like in 2010, 11, or 12, at some point during that time period, there was a lot of people in the Bay Area. And don't you even act like you wasn't. If you're from the Bay Area, you know you had a pair of these. There was a lot of people rocking the polo boots. I'm talking the double zipper boot. I'm talking the zipper with the lace boot. Like these boots had a little moment in the Bay Area. And I remember I had two pairs. It was a brown and tan pair, and it was just an all brown pair. Like I love those boots, and I don't know why, because looking at it now, it's not the most visually appeasing or appeasing, words are hard. It's not the most visually appeasing boot. Like it just looks like anything really. So it's just funny now because a lot of people did have these boots growing up. But again, I never really needed boots. So like, even though now I have way more boots in my collection because I have the Yeezy Pirate boot, the Yeezy Season 3 boot, the Solomon boot, Collegium boot, like I have, 4 boots in my collection. But like, again, that doesn't trump all the sneakers that I have in my closet. But when it came to getting this boot, I wanted to make sure I actually wanted these shoes. Again, as I've expressed in other videos, when things are so hyped where like I go to my Explore page or my For You page and I see, a certain piece too much, and like I do like the piece, but if I see it too much, I'm like, okay, am I really liking this piece, or do I really want this piece for the sake of me wanting it and I'll enjoy it, or am I just getting this piece because I'm seeing it all over my Explore page and all over my For You page? Like the boots that I'm talking about is these. The Veneda Carter Timbs. Now, I couldn't make it to Instagram or TikTok without seeing these boots. Like people had the brown pair, the tan pair, they had the black pair, they had these. And like, I just seen them everywhere, bro. Everyone got a pair of these boots. And like, again, whenever it comes to making a purchase like this, I'm like, do I actually want it because I really want it? Or do I necessarily want them for the sake of, being included in the hype that's falling behind it? So I kind of just waited off on it. Like I sat on it. When I see them like a month later or 2 months later, I was like, okay, I still do like them, but they still too hype for me. And then 3 months came and 4 months came, because I think these came out in September. I could be wrong. I'll put the real date here. And after like a long period of time had passed, like, then the hype kind of died down because you really don't see people really tagging it or posting them as much. I came to the conclusion, I was like, I really do want these boots. When it comes to things that are extremely hype, I try to vet my thought process on why I want them or if I truly want them. So again, this is coming like, these boots have been out for a long time. People have made videos about them. People have taken an ungodly number of fit pics in these boots. So like the hype is already gone, but again, I still wanted them, so that's why I'm bringing them to you guys. And also, I just thought it was dope because this is my first pair of Timbs. So like, this is a brand that is and has this notoriety, and I've never owned a pair of their boots. So it's like, this is my first time rocking a pair of Timbs. This is gonna be the first time I've owned a pair of Timbs. So I wanna walk through that experience with you guys on camera. But again, this is just my initial thoughts. Like these boots are crazy. The first thing I noticed when I unboxed these, the weight of these boots is kind of crazy. I can see why these are helpful during like, a snowstorm in New York or like, anywhere else where it snows geographically. Like I can see why these would protect your foot, especially if you wear a thick sock. Like, it'll keep your foot warm. Me being in Texas, I don't know how much wear is gonna get out of me, especially during like the spring and summer. But during the winter and the fall, I can see me rocking these. But just looking at it, it's dope, bro. Like, this is a dope collab. I think the glossy effect of it all kind of adds an aspect to it. Someone on TikTok said I want to dress like the Tin Man, which I might take inspiration for that and find an outfit that kind of matches that. But I do like them. I have tried them on. They do fit. This is a size 9, and as y'all guys know, I typically rock a 9.5 when it comes to like most sneakers. But when I looked online, people said these run big, so I got a 9, and I absolutely thank that person on Reddit who said that, because had I got a 9.5, I would have been flopping in these, because there's still room in these, even though they're a size 9. Like, there's still mad room in here, and I know like if I break them in, they're gonna kind of loosen up a little bit more. So I am glad I did go to Reddit to figure out what size I should get. But again, that could all change. Like, once I break them in, because I am gonna wear these for like at least a week or two to get a full understanding of how these fit. But yeah, I just want to record the initial reaction, my thought process on why I bought these, and also just sharing that this is my first pair of Tims ever. So again, I'll catch y'all in like 1 or 2 weeks when I really broken these in and I really put some time in there. Cloth out. I don't know what it is, but for whatever reason it is, whenever I wear these Tims, I just have the certain urge to want to dress like this. Bro, don't ask me why I do certain things, just support it. And you have finally reached the review portion of the Veneda Carter Timbs. This is gonna be the Silver Surfer pair. This is gonna be the Tin Man pair. This is gonna be silver from Sonic the Hedgehog, goddammit. This is gonna be that pair. And again, I'm not gonna try to waste too much time. Again, I try to make these reviews for people who are currently looking for this pair, whether it be the black pair, the brown pair, or this pair. If you currently have them in your car and you're curious, just like me, because this is my first pair of Tims. Never owned Tims before. This is my first interaction with this brand. So if you're anyone like me and you're curious, how do these fit? Are they comfortable? Do they deserve the hype? I'm going to try to answer those questions because I spent literally a full week of only rocking these shoes. So I have some good insight. But without further ado, let's get into the review. Starting off first, we're gonna always talk about sizing first. I feel like that's always the biggest contingency when people are looking for shoes. How do they run? Am I getting the right size? Now, me being so skeptical in like getting this pair and making sure that they fit me exactly how I want them to fit, I took to Reddit, and when I went to Reddit, I searched up basically what size do I get in Tims? And they said they run pretty big. So y'all know, I typically rock 9.5s in most of my sneakers. I have some 9s, but I feel like as of late, 9s are a little too snug for my liking. So I have been leaning more to 9.5s. So when they told me these run big, I got a 9. And oh my God, thank you to the person that suggested I go down a half size, because these are a 9 and they fit like perfectly. And I feel like had I got the 9.5, I may really been flopping in these, because there's still a little bit of room in these. Like, I'm not saying like there's like a bunch of space, but like my foot doesn't feel claustrophobic. It doesn't feel restricted. It doesn't feel like anything like that. And I've rocked this with, slim socks, thicker socks, and like more padded socks. Like, they fit. Like I haven't had a single issue yet. Like with any sock that I wear, these are still mad comfortable. So again, that was my experience. I am typically a 9.5. In my experience, I went down to half size. Absolutely love it. Like I don't think I would have wanted 8.5, or I don't think I would have wanted a 9.5. Like that 9 is exactly where I'm going to be when it comes to these boots in particular. Now I know this is like a pair that's like patent leather, so I don't know how, you know, these fare to the other ones, or the original Tims, like the original Buddhas or whatever they call them out there, you know. I don't know how that compares to these, but in my experience with this pair, this patent leather pair, like the 9 was my go-to. I went down half a size from my true size and I got the 9. Now let's talk about comfortability. I'll be honest, I was already going into this bias. I'm like, these are boots. People always talk about how comfortable Tims are. People always talk about how comfortable Doc Martens are. And I feel like in my experience of rocking Doc Martens, I've never broken in a pair of Doc Martens because one, they tend to always be uncomfortable. Like that top part always digs into the top of my foot. And I'm talking about like the standard like Oxford pairs of Doc Martens. So like not, you know, the loafers or like I'm just talking about the standard Doc Marten boots, whether it be the high top ones, the mid top ones, or like the Oxford like style ones. Those are like, I'll keep it a buck, bro. Like they're not comfortable. Like I've tried and I've never broken in a pair because I end up typically selling them right after. Again, that's no shade to Doc Marten, but that's just been my experience. Now going into these, I thought this was gonna be the same thing. Again, where I grew up, people wasn't really rocking Tims like that. Like they like I seen them, and I've had people in my life who've had a pair of Tims, but I feel like there were other boots that people were leaning towards. So I just never really was around Tims to really just want to buy a pair or, you know, get influenced to, you know, buy a pair. I just said that twice. So going into this review, I'm like, there's no way. They're not going to be that comfortable. You know, people are just gassing it. You know, if you're from the East Coast, of course, you're going to gas it. But listen, I can say, being someone from the West Coast, being somebody who's never experienced Tims, I am thoroughly surprised about how comfortable Tims are. Like, I'm telling you, bro, I've been on an airplane with these, and you know, traveling in general, you know, seats are uncomfortable, airport chairs are uncomfortable. Like, I'm traveling in these, I'm driving in these, you know, I'm just going out and about in public, just casually walking. Like, I really only had a problem when they were brand spanking new. I'm talking like this top part was like digging into my foot. This part wasn't really loosened up yet. Like it just felt like, you know, like that first, I would say first day, second day, and maybe a little bit of the third day, like that was an uncomfortable piece, but like it's definitely softened up since then. And like, I don't really have that issue anymore. Like I've had these shoes for almost 2 weeks now. So again, I only felt that for 3 days, and I would say that issue was because they were brand spanking new. They haven't been worn in, they haven't, you know, had the chance to loosen up. But now, bro, like these are comfortable, bro. I'm talking like I'm rocking them in a day for like 7 hours. Like I flew to Nashville, I got on the plane in the morning, landed in Nashville, was out active, walking around for, you know, a decent amount of time. Like I put at least in one day, 9 hours in these boots. And I only really felt a point of wanting to take them off like around like 8 to like, maybe like 7 hours. I was like, okay, I can take these off. But I feel like you will reach that point with most sneakers. Like most sneakers, shoes, boots, loafers, whatever the case may be, I feel like you're always going to reach a point where you want to take them off. And I feel like 7 hours of just walking around and being out and about, your foot's gonna get tired regardless. But like, again, bro, comfort-wise, I am actually super surprised at how comfortable these were. And like, I always want to remind y'all, like, I didn't get sponsored to do this. Tims didn't pay me, like, unless they want to. But again, I have no reason to try to, you know, big up this brand. This brand has been around for a very long time. It's a staple, especially on the East Coast. Like, I mean, I'm probably not telling them anything that they're not aware of. Like, I am actually very surprised on how comfortable these were, how easy they were to break in, and just how easy they were to incorporate into my closet, bro. Like, I'm talking like sweatpants, I'm talking shorts, I'm talking denim. Like, I don't know. I don't know why I slept on, getting a pair of Tims for so long, but like, this is definitely my first pair, and it definitely will not be my last pair, because I know just from this experience, I now at least know the sizing that I need, the comfort is there, and I want to experience like different materials. Like, I wonder, if they did like an all leather pair, or something like that. Like, I just want to experience them in different formats to see if it still holds up to be true that they're comfortable. But again, listen, they're comfortable, bro. That's all I can say. That was my experience. I don't know any other experience except my experience. Tims, these boots, comfortable. And typically when I do my reviews, whether it be a shoe review, a sneaker review, a boot review, like, I'm doing like 24 hours in the shoe. I'm doing 48 hours, and on the extreme end, I'm typically doing like 78 hours. So there's not really much signs of like wear on the shoe itself, just because like there's not much you can do within like a 72-hour span of wearing something where it's gonna heavily get damaged. But again, I did rock these for about a week. And only noticeable signs of wear on this boot, given that it's patent leather, I thought it was going to be worse than this. But the only signs of wear on this boot are the top of the boots are definitely getting creasing, which that should be expected. Something such as patent leather is always going to crease. And then also on the inside of the boot, right where your ankle is like a little wear from like the material that's up here, which feels like leather. I don't know if it's like genuine leather or if it's real leather or if it's like, people do pineapple leather, whatever the case may be. Like, that's really the only signs of like major wear on the shoe. And I thought after wearing this for like, a full week and maybe some change, I thought this was going to be a little bit more beaten in, just because I've had shoes in the past that were patent leather and they always crack, and they crack crazy, which I do expect these to crack more. But I just thought it would be a little further gone compared to what it is now. Like, it's not really bad. It's not really noticeable. It's not really, like, it's not crazy. Like, I feel like I could genuinely resell these now for a decent amount of money and still get a great return on it. But again, like, as far as wear goes, like, this is great. Again, the bottom is like still in really good shape. Nothing too crazy going on with that. I think it should go without saying, you can't rock these in the gym. I tried. But really, just to sum up everything about this, like, my experience in my first pair of Tims, like, this was phenomenal. Like, I'm genuinely shocked at how comfortable they were, the sizing, and just how the boot fit. Like, I'm just really surprised how easy they were to like just be incorporated into my closet, to a point where I'm like, now I need more pairs of Tims. Again, really dope collab. I like this. This is definitely something that aligns with my style. I know a lot of people really don't like the shiny, glittery boots. But in my opinion, I thought they were dope. I'm excited to see what else they plan to do with this boot. I know they had like the faux Bottega looking ones with like the woven leather. Like, I thought that was a dope pair. There are some other ones I've seen in the past, like Supreme collabs, Jown collabs. I've seen other collabs that Tims have done with other, creators or platforms. Like, I think this is not going to be my last pair of Tims. Like, I'm definitely now seated and planted and seeing where, they go in the future. I did see a silhouette, not this silhouette. I did see a silhouette that they did with Stussy. Listen, if anyone out there has a pair of those in a size 9, tap in with your boy. But again, I'm always curious to know what you guys think. If you're someone who's been rocking Tims for years and years and years and years, and like, it's just a part of your daily, routine to have a pair of Tims, a pair of Air Force, like, there's always those staple shoes in someone's closet. If you're somebody who's been rocking Tims for a very long time, was my review accurate? Let me know in the comments, because I feel like your insight helps somebody else make a purchase. But if you're somebody who hasn't rocked a pair of Timbs, who hasn't owned a pair of Timbs, what's stopping you from buying a pair? I'm curious to know as well, because I feel like just like me, I just never grew up around it. It never seemed appealing, and I feel like there was other things that I wanted, so that's why I didn't buy it. But I'm curious on like, if you're somebody who's never owned a pair, why is that? But that is gonna wrap up this video. Without further ado, like I always do, I'll catch you in the next one.
But I love the way you work it. Ay, I love the way you work it for me.